West Palm Beach, my hometown. We have it all here. Beautiful beaches, perfect weather year-round, filled with small local businesses that fuel the growing city. It's a changing landscape of small businesses, from restaurants to cafes, gyms, barbershops, and breweries. 2020 happened. Things started to shut down. So I biked. And I biked. And I biked. I hit the streets. I wanted to support the small businesses in my community. I wanted to meet the owners. I wanted to hear their stories. I wanted to know the face behind the registers. So that's how Locally Sourced started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Locally Sourced. I'm your host Michael LaFrance, and Locally Sourced is a series that I do once a month here on this channel where I feature small local businesses in the downtown West Palm Beach area. Now, I'm a resident of downtown West Palm Beach and I love supporting local small businesses. So if you're into that kind of thing, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. I greatly appreciate it as we continue to grow the channel out. Now, today's episode. Now, I love a great story, and there's nothing better than a great entrepreneur story. And Ricky Perez, the owner of Zipitios, truly has that story. So, Ricky started his taco stand in Palm Beach County's first food hall in Grandview Public Market. Ricky's entrepreneurial journey wasn't a clear path when he first started, no. He was very passionate about his Central American roots, and he loved to cook for family and friends. Little did he know that that passion would lead to start his own business, Zipitios. On this episode of Locally Sourced, we talked to Ricky and find out how he was able to adapt through the hard times of 2020, how he was to be creative enough to come up with several different pop-up events throughout South Florida, and was able to keep the lights on and keep his employees working through these hard times. So without further ado, let's go down to Grandview Public Market, meet up with Ricky, and talk to him about Zipitios and how he first started out. I think you'll really like this one.
What's up, guys? My name is Ricky Perez, and I run Zipitios along with my wife, Mira Perez. We also do a pop-up called Taqueria Bonitas in Rosemary Square. Okay, so an interesting fact about Zipitios is the name. A lot of people get it wrong. They say Zapatos, they say Zipitios, it's Zipitios. I know it's a little weird, it's a little odd, but Zipitio is a little elf. It's like Salvadorian folklore. And so the little elf, you know, he appears and he grants you wishes. I wrote a list of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I put food truck down. I don't really have a food truck, but I have a taco stand. That's what Zipitios means. What I love about having my business in West Palm is that I get to share my culture, my wife's culture. My wife being Mexican, you know, that's where tacos come into our menu, and me being from El Salvador, that's where pupusas come in. And not a lot of people knew what pupusas were when we started serving them. That was like the number one question, and it got kind of redundant answering that every day to everybody. But now people have a pretty good grasp on what it is, and they love it. They love our food, and that's what I love the most, is serving West Palm Beach, our culture through food. Zipitios kind of started at Tacos and Hip Hop, which was an event that I put together with my partner, Steve Prashad, Selecta Steve. Steve came up to me one day and was like, hey man, you know, they're doing this dope party called Burgers and Hip Hop in Germany. You think you can make tacos? Prior to that, I had made tacos for my birthday. I wanted everybody to try them, and everybody loved them. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this party. And he's working closely with Subculture Coffee, and I guess he asked if we could do the party there, and they were down with it. So they opened the doors for us, and we put together the party. I remember My cousin at the time he was a sous chef at a restaurant in Orlando, and he came down to help me because, at this time I'm a graphic designer. I don't know anything about, cooking on a large scale. I mean, I could, throw down in the kitchen of my house and for my family, but like on a large scale, I was like oblivious. So my cousin came down and helped me. And I remember, we put the flyer out there and there was 150 RSVPs. We're like, whoa. So we get there that day and there's like a line around subculture. We're like, holy crap, like what are we gonna do? all we could do is just keep our heads down and just serve tacos. And from then on, we kept doing tacos and hip hop on a monthly basis. We did it for 3 years. And hopefully we'll bring it back, man, on a larger scale. Do something dope for the city. The event Tacos and Hip Hop kind of birthed Zipitios. I decided to do a sub-brand of my own taco stand to where we could just pop up. Because I would see what they would do in LA. Granted they have better weather, so they can pop up with a tent like year-round. But here in Florida, it was a challenge because you didn't know if it can rain or not. We would pop at the Miami Flea, which was a flea market they did at Miami. We would pop up at Chelsea Lane. What else? We just pop up in random places, and that's kind of what got us to the point of being at Grandview Public Market. I never really thought I'd be doing tacos full time, but when I saw that there was a demand for it and people really liked what I was making, it kind of like shifted, from doing design full time to just putting tacos together. And but at the same time, I think design kind of helped kind of communicate. Not that we're just a taco spot or a food spot, but it helps communicate brand wise. Like it helps a lot with the branding and the visual perception that people have of Zipitios. And I think that's something that was extremely valuable, having done design beforehand. One of the hardships that we dealt with, dealing with the COVID situation is it was scary, man, because the March of 2020, prior, like 3 days before that, we were full speed ahead. We were in the beginning of our season, and a week later, you're like, yo, you have to shut down. One thing I worry about, and I always worried about, was my staff, because those people are what keep our business going. And me trying to come up with alternative ways to give them more hours. Like when we were doing just takeout, it was not everything was coming in as quick. So I had to devise a way to sustain everybody and give them ample amount of hours. So we did pop-ups, and we did the green market, which helped a lot. And just adapting and just hustling our way out of a bad situation. And thank God we're here, and we keep on trucking. 2019, 2020 was really challenging, being in this industry, but 2021, I guess, it kind of feels like we're getting up off the ground, picking ourselves up, and just trying to figure out, how we can grow, how to, better ourselves, better our product, better our branding, not only for us, but for the city. Like I'm constantly thinking about how I'm gonna put my city on, because you have all these other taco spots, that are coming here and whatnot, and they're not natives. I hold that like I'm proud of being from West Palm, So I want to do the city proud by creating something really dope, because a lot of times people want to go to Miami, because that's where all the cool stuff is, and it's cool. But I want to develop something for our city, for West Palm, that's gonna be dope, and where you can go, you can have a beer, you can have a drink, and vibe out, and hopefully that's what we can create, in the next, 6 months to a year. So it's all about growth.
Ricky's approach to food is very social. Food is best served with family and friends, and of course, great music. So go visit Zipitios and Ricky at Grandview Public Market, or check them out online to find out when their next pop-up event is taking place. They're definitely worth a visit. So let's send it back out to Ricky right now to find out what's another business or service in West Palm Beach that he really enjoys and why.
A business that I enjoy in West Palm Beach is Crazy Train CrossFit. It's more like a people's gym, you know? You go in there not knowing anything and you don't feel intimidated. You know, you just go and you do the best you can. And that's what I really enjoy about it. You know, running the restaurants is a little stressful, so I go there and let off some steam while I'm also, you know, trying to, you know, burn off the tacos that I ate throughout the day. So I really enjoy it, man, and Billy's a great guy. Billy at Crazy Train CrossFit.